Greetings, peace and blessings. We are the Mohammeds, the residential tourists from 85 to Africa. As you can clearly see, we are living in the after. This is our backyard right now. The beautiful Indian Ocean. Very clear, very warm, just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is Africa, right? So, we've talked about it before, right? That old mighty dollar, not so mighty.
Not no more in Africa.
Not so much. So, the de-dollarization, forgive me, is real.
It has begun.
It has begun. There was some naysayers and some doubters, but it's happening. It's happening. The good thing is this is free. It doesn't require, currency. However, there is a factor where, money is an issue here in Africa. So we're going to talk about it, all right? Let's talk about it. So let's walk and talk.
Yes. We are walking in our new backyard, and oh my God, we're so excited. But the journey coming here was a little different.
It's different.
So we, of course, we were leaving Rwanda. Everybody knows we had to leave. We were leaving Rwanda.
We didn't have to leave.
But everyone knows we were leaving Rwanda.
Totally.
Yeah, and
Rwanda's still home. Anyway,
yes, and there's a lot of when you leave, you want to change in your currencies. You want to, of course, typically you would change in your francs, your Rwandan francs, and get U.S. dollars, or we're here in Kenya now, so we were needing Kenya shillings. So there was a group of us actually leaving Rwanda.
Not coming to Kenya.
Some going back. Most of them went back to the States. And the first time we realized that there was an issue with the U.S. dollar, we kept getting calls like, yo, where can we exchange these francs at? Or because Rwanda's on Momo money, they were trying to pull off the money off of their Momo in order to get USD.
Or their bank account.
Or even in the bank.
Their bank account.
In a bank account. So a couple of them went to the bank to try to pull their money out of the bank in U.S. dollars, and they're told, we don't have any.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
We don't have no U.S. dollars, especially not that amount.
Right.
I think another family was told, you can pull it out, but you have to give us at least a week, because they had to go find it. They had to buy it from probably another country. So they had to wait a week, and it still wasn't there. They had to find another way, which wound up being, for most of them, wiring, MoneyGram, World Remit, something like that, where it can go to their account or go to a person in the States, and it'll be U.S. dollars. But trying to get dollars in Rwanda was impossible.
At a moment, and I don't know if it's still the same.
Well, even when we came a few days ago, and at the airport, we were told they didn't have any dollars.
Yeah, that's true.
Fortunately, we didn't have no big money, so we just had little money. They were able to exchange that $30, $40. They had that, but as far as $100 bills and $100 and more currency, they didn't have it. So, and we've never had that issue. That was quite mind-boggling. Like, what do you mean you don't have U.S. dollars? Like, who ever actually heard of that?
Keep it real. It's kind of scary. Let's keep it real.
Not for us, because
no, for me, I guess, because just the whole thing, like, okay, we knew, and we're knowing that is the de-dollarization is in progress. It's happening. We've talked about it before, previous video. We presented that. But to have a direct experience to where, like, okay, wait, what do you mean there's no dollar available
in Rwanda? You can't find it. If you find it, let us know, because there's other people that are trying to pull their money out, and they're having these issues. So if you have another way, let us know. So we get over to Kenya. Now, we were here about 6 weeks ago, and the dollar exchange rate was a lot higher 6 weeks ago. It was at 0.80. We're over here now and then dropped to 0.7. But we also know that the president here has declared that they want to find a trading means where they no longer rely on the US dollar. And so you're already seeing part of that that unification where they're trying to come off and have just one currency in East Africa.
With the East African community, a single currency
Yeah.
that they can, as my beloved was saying, to operate from.
Right. And so when we were here before, we had actually talked to a couple people, and they were explaining to us. We didn't know that this is what happens, but they were the first ones to explain to us that the country had to actually go to Tanzania to buy U.S. currency because the reserves here was very low. And so they would go over to Tanzania. We hear other East African countries. I've read a couple of them. I don't want to put them out there in case it's not factual, but we heard that other East African countries have also done the same thing. They'll come and buy U.S. currency at a lower rate in another country so that they can have it in their reserves, so they can have the backing. But we're hearing that country is Tanzania, and now Tanzania just declared a ban on U.S. dollars for trading. And we're like, now they've tried this a couple other times, 2007, 2017. They had outlawed U.S. dollars being used in the country. For some reason, it changed, especially during COVID time, it came back. But because the reserves are so low for U.S. dollars and they're trying to pretty much de-dollarize it in the country, Tanzania said, no, you cannot trade. You can't get money out of Forex. You can't go to the banks and get U.S. dollars anymore. It's banned in the country, period. And if you're a tourist that comes in trying to use it, there's a couple steps that you have to take to even be allowed. One being you have to present your passport and you have to declare something. So it's not so easy just coming in and saying, yo, I have a $100 bill. This is worth 200 T-shillings. That's not how it's going to work anymore.
T-shillings.
That's Tanzanian shillings.
T-shillings, Tanzania, yes.
Yeah, so it's a lot different now. So just in these 3 countries, within 6 weeks from us talking about it before, what was it, about 2 months that we talked about that this was about to happen, it's already begun. It's already begun. I don't know how it affects us right now. It's a...
I mean, you know, yeah. You know, but we have to take into great consideration as we continue to move forward of this reality.
Yeah.
Because it is. It's real. It's real. Now, we'll follow up with more detailed, factual information, but I do believe that they are going to be using a different dominant currency, if you will.
Which is exciting because we want to see Africa be great by themselves.
Of course.
You know, the president here in Kenya did a video not too long ago saying Africa's not beggars. We don't have to beg for support. We don't have to beg for financing. We have everything we need here on the continent.
That's right.
So taking this step and de-dollarizing and also making that single currency is a step in the right direction for Africa.
And it's not an overnight thing, right? You know, I know there's speculation by many. There are doubters, there are naysayers, and we know, unfortunately, that the continent, within different countries, there has been an issue, and still is, an issue of corruption. It's a process, though. It's a process. It will take time.
Yep.
And, you know, I can't remember the YouTube. I gotta shout him out, man. I hope I can remember it. But he made a good, valid point, specifically as it relates to the president here in Kenya. As he's appearing, as we've said before, leading the charge in all of this. You know, he's not speaking strictly for Kenya. He loves the continent. He loves Africa.
He loves Africa and the people.
And the people. So, from our takeaway is that, you know, of course, he wants his country to flourish and to be progressive and to be stabilized and to have a solid infrastructure, all of that stuff. But not only his country, all countries on the continent. It appears to stay. That's the takeaway right now. And dang, I wish I could remember the individual, the YouTuber. Oh my gosh, he's an African brother. I think he's Kenyan. Beautiful brother. If I can remember, if I can't remember, I'll try to find a clip and I'll share it. But anyway, he said something very important. He said that with the type of leadership that is being represented here, specifically in Kenya, you have to put a hedge around him, a protection.
Oh yeah.
We have to. We have to band together.
Let me just say this first of all, that William Ruto, the president of Kenya, must be protected at all costs. All Kenyans across the world, all Africans around the globe, you must stand with William Ruto. This is what we have been asking for so long time, to have leaders who will be courageous enough to speak to the Western world, to address towards all these unfair systems that they were initiated long time before even our country existed. And they are still manipulating, they're still harming us today. And we have no say. We cannot do anything. If you say, then you'll have a backlash. If you oppose, then something will happen. We always wanted to have leaders who will stand still and speak blankly, openly, brutally, the way unfair system is. So now you're finding this new president of Kenya, William Ruto, who is not afraid to stand anywhere to speak everything in his mind. The matter of fact, everything in his heart, things that all of us Africans, we know and we agree.
I understand the speculation, the suspicion, the doubts, and all of that stuff there. But his brother has been in position not even a full year yet, and he's taking the baton and he's running fast with it.
Yeah, fast and fearless.
Fast and fearless, you know? And so it's true. We have to rally, right, and support around that which is going to be a benefit for the whole.
Yeah.
And I can say the whole because the language, you know, is for us, diasporas, he's including us as well, right? And a lot of stuff remains to be seen, but it's not going to be overnight.
Right.
But we have to get behind the idea, get behind the possibility, and support however we can support. And, you know, we call it in when it ain't following through. We respectfully, you know, just say, hey, hold on now, wait a minute, but with respect, right?
Yeah.
So the possibilities are there. So we have to begin to, you know, really think in this way, position ourselves in this manner because, you know, it's real. They really are moving away from the U.S. currency so that they can be self-sufficient and not have to be dictated to as a sovereign nation on how to run they ship.
or continuously going in debt, trying to keep up with the dollar, trying to buy the dollar, trying to trade in the dollar. And the president said here in Kenya, he said, why am I spending money to buy when I'm trying to trade here in Africa, but I got to go all the way to D.C. and use their money to trade on an African continent?
Right.
That don't make any sense. And how much money do you lose in that transaction? And why? Why do the U.S. get money off of what you guys are doing here on the continent? So it's time to let go. For us, these are other forms of shackles. And it's time to break those shackles and free. Africa, get free.
Get free.
Get free. The people want to be free. The diaspora want to come. They want to get free. We want to come to freedom.
Diasporas, we have, listen, I say it all the time, look, we got skill sets, man. We have what's necessary, what's needed to join the effort and try to help build Africa. And we want to come. We're here. We're already here, right? So, man, listen, we got to work together. Work together.
So, thank you guys. We are here. We made it safely. We are in Kenya. And y'all know we fell in love with Kenya from the very first day we got off the plane. So we are in Kenya, in love. I'm so happy right now. I wish my mom was here. I was trying my best to get her here to see this beautiful just to have a little bit of this. But she enjoyed it while she was here.
That's right.
And we're going to keep our word to her. And we're happy. We're still on the continent, so look forward to seeing some more wonderful footage, informing you of life here in Africa.
Residential tourists.
Please like, share, and subscribe.
Please, please, please. All right, family. Thank you so very much. Peace and blessings.